So it was all shredded, the files erased totally, and computers wiped. Hi, hello, I'm Hope, and I hope you're all doing well today. And today we'll be reading about malicious compliance. When people do as they're told maliciously. First story is called You Want Me to Work My Exact Hours? Okay, no problem. A few years ago, my manager decided to crack down on workplace discipline. His first rule: everyone had to work their exact scheduled hours. No more, no less. If your shift was 9 to 5, you couldn't start a minute early or leave a minute late. Now, I'm the kind of person who likes to finish what I'm working on, even if it means staying a little past my shift. But fine, rules are rules. At 5 p.m. sharp, I started dropping everything. Middle of a call with a client? Sorry, it's 5 p.m. Let's pick this up tomorrow. Writing an email? Draft saved, computer shut down. My coworkers followed suit. Soon the office was a ghost town at exactly 5:01 every day. It didn't take long for chaos to erupt. Deadlines got missed, calls were dropped, and the clients weren't happy. Management started to notice. After about 2 weeks, the rule magically disappeared, and we were told, just do what you need to get the job done. Funny how things change when you follow orders too perfectly. Edit/update. A lot of people asked if this was about working long hours. It wasn't. The issue was flexibility. Many of us liked starting early or staying late when it suited us. But the policy forced us into rigid schedules, which didn't work for how we like to manage our workloads. When they realized flexibility made things smoother, they backtracked fast. The manager was probably like, oh no, the consequences of my actions. The next story is called Won't Get Paid More for Doing My Job Quicker? Alright, I'll just do my job slower. I'm a software developer at a medium-sized company where I would get a project and a time frame to get said project done. This time frame is insane, not because of the lack of time to get it done, but because of the excessive amount of time it would give me. Something that I could get done in 2 weeks is given 3 months to complete. My first 6 months at the company were spent with me doing said projects in the amount of time they took me, as opposed to the amount of time given for them to be completed. And when my performance review came back, I assumed my raise and bonus would reflect my performance. I still remember one advice for this kind of situation. I still remember one advice for these kinds of situations, and it's basically to pretend it took you longer than it actually did, but still less than the deadline. This way you won't get more work, plus you'll look like a competent worker who never exceeds their deadline. Anyway, as many of you can probably guess from where I'm posting this story, my raise did not in fact reflect my performance, and instead was the base amount my contract guaranteed. My response to that was not to complain, as I frankly didn't care, and instead just stop submitting my progress at the same pace I had been doing it. I still did it in 2 weeks for 3 months, but it was a work from home job and I would just add in bits and pieces to keep the progress at the expected pace while having the completed project on the personal machine. I still work there and have been working there for 4 years now, and very happy spending maybe 2 months of the year doing my job and then working at my second job at a different business as a software developer, as it's a work from home job and there's no mandatory check-ins or anything of the sort. I have been offered a decent raise to return to my original pace multiple times, but I've declined each time, and after around a year and a half they accepted the current pace as I still do quality work with no delays. I guess don't shaft me originally and expect me to change my mind when you realize my value. No idea. I just make way more than I would have needed to and effectively get triple my salary as my other job makes twice my lousy job. Hell yeah, well done OP. Our next story is called Delete the legacy knowledge department? Okay. A former employer has decided to shoot themselves in the foot with a bazooka. I thought I'd share it here so you can laugh at them too. In a nutshell, the business built its own in house software which is designed to cover all aspects of the business. From invoicing, tracking stocks, creating reports, semi automatic direct debt billing, and virtually everything else, 1,000 sub areas. As such, the business ended up with 3 IT departments. One was more hardware issue and basic IT issues. There was the medium IT department who could fix small issues within specific sub areas of the software, and the legacy team who worked on the rawest base level of the software and had kept it functioning for over 20 years. In an effort to cut costs, okay, here we go. This is always where the bad things happen. I mean, when will people learn the phrase save a penny, lose a pound? Well, anyhow, let's continue reading. In an effort to cut costs, the senior management decided that the legacy team were no longer required, as they were creating a whole new software anyway and would be ditching the old one within a year or so. In doing so, they also insisted that the large office they occupied was completely emptied. This included several huge filing cabinets of paperwork, comprising dozens of core manuals, and countless hundreds of up-to-date how-to-fix documentation pieces, as well as earlier superseded documents they could refer back to. The legacy team sent an email to the seniors basically saying, "Are you sure?" To which they eventually received a terse email back specifically stating to destroy all paperwork. After reading and listening to so many of these stories, you can't not learn that "are you sure?" or "can I get this in writing?" is basically a synonym for "you're making a grave mistake. Please think about the consequences." They were also ordered to delete all digital files to free up a rather substantial amount of space on the shared drive and wipe their computer back to factory settings. So it was all shredded, the files erased totally, and computers wiped. The team removed every trace of their existence as ordered and left for greener pastures. It's been 3 months, and there was recently a power outage, which had broken something in the rebooted system. The company can no longer add items into stock, which means invoicing won't work, as the system reads as "can't sell what we don't have." In turn, this means there's no invoices for the system to bill. So it's back to pen, paper, and shredded Excel sheets to keep track of stocks. Manually, typing invoices into a template and having to manually check every payment received against paper invoices. All of which is resulting in massive amounts of overtime required to keep up with the demand. What did I say before? Save a penny, lose a pound? Yeah, exactly. The company has reached out to the legacy team, but they've all said without the manuals they were ordered to destroy or erase, they're not sure how to fix it. The new system is still at least a year out. Of course it is. On the positive side, 2 of the senior managers have a nice large office to share and sit in. Yeah, I mean, that's what you get for preemptively deleting everything. Look, here's an idea from a silly little demon. Delete the old program only after you have the new program running for some time, not before. You cannot use your allotted meal budget to tip. I travel a lot for work, and my company agreement is that I get a set amount for food every day. I don't have a knack for fancy food, so I typically just get what I get and tip heavily to maximize the dollar amount. This was never a problem in the past, until my company got acquired and the new company is aggressively cutting costs. Someone from HR emailed me to tell me I was financially on the hook for tips. I couldn't expense them anymore. So now I just buy the food I eat from the grocery store, eat cheaply, and spend the rest on donuts and coffee for all of my co-workers everywhere I travel. There is a set budget for food every day. If you're going to be a penny pinching piece of shit, I will always find ways to spend that money within our agreement to give to others. Next time, I think I'll feed the homeless. Need I remind my company that I'm doing them a favor by traveling because they don't want to pay full-timers in those areas? Don't be cheap. Okay, yeah, it's honestly so stupid. I mean, you've already allocated that portion of the money for food. What do you care what the employee does with it? And it's not even as if OP used it for something completely different. It was just for food, for tips. That's so stupid. Oh well, let's just move on and read the last story for today. This one is quite long, so you can take this time to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Fix it now! You got it, boss! I was working in a hotel in the UK as a lobby boy. My afternoon job was to handle guests' requests for extra pillows, blankets, etc. The system worked like this. The guests informed the reception, the details were written in a notebook, example, room XY, pillow, and every so often, I checked the book, solved the problem, and ticked them off when done. One night, during dinner, the hotel boss wrote a note in the book. Room XXX, hot water tap is not working. I went to the room, checked it, yup, not working. I went back and wrote in the book. Can't fix it, call a plumber. On my next day, there was a new message. Fix it now. Underlined 3 times. Yes, please order someone to do the job that they're not only not paid to do, but are also very much not qualified to do, instead of calling the professionals. What could possibly go wrong? I wonder. Well, I went back to the room, checked the hot water again. In the UK, there are 2 taps on the sink, one for cold and one for hot. Still couldn't fix it. I tried a few things. Somehow the pipe, the one from the wall to the sink, popped out and boiling hot water started pouring onto the floor at full force. Panic mode on. I grabbed the phone and called the reception. Busy. So I sprinted through the hotel, the room was on the farthest side, jumped into the reception and shouted, "Room XY, plumber, now!" Then I rushed back to the room. The water was still gushing out at a full force, so I just sat on the edge of the bathtub, holding the pipe so the water poured into the tub instead of flooding the floor. After about 3 minutes of this, the hotel boss picked into the bathroom, went pale, and ran away. 5 more minutes passed, then the fire alarm went off because of the steam. Fortunately, the staff already knew what was happening, so they told the guest it was a false alarm and didn't evacuate the hotel. Another 10 minutes later, they finally shut off the water supplies for the entire wing of the hotel. A plumber arrived and fixed the tap in 3 minutes. Now come the fun part, cleaning. Surprisingly, there wasn't much water in the bathroom, considering the tap had been gushing for over 15 minutes. So I went 1 floor lower to see where all the water had gone. I entered the room's bathroom, switched on the light, but it was very dim. That's when I realized the bowl-shaped lamp covered on the bathroom ceiling was filled to the brim with water, with the light bulb happily sitting inside it. Oh shit. Light off. Drained the water from the lamp cover, mopped up the bathroom too, but still, it didn't seem like enough water for what had happened. So I went lower. Below the bathroom, on the ground floor, there was a corridor. Luckily, not another room. But the ceiling had gotten so wet it collapsed. A 2 by 3 meter section of it had come crashing down onto the carpet. After 50 minutes in a sauna-like bathroom, 30 minutes of cleaning and clearing the rubble, I finally stepped outside for some fresh air. That's when my roommate walked past, took one look at me and asked, "Did someone puke on you?" Since then, whenever I say I can't fix something, they actually believe me and call a professional. And good thing too. I mean, they should have done that from the start, but look, at very least, they've learned a lesson. Click on the screen to watch more malicious compliance. And thank you for watching this video. With your help, I'll be back in hell in no time.